Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Dan. This is Engelgeist. This is my channel. We're doing things a little bit different. This is the broadcast for Tuesday, October 5th. Tuesday, November 5th. Sorry, I'm off by a month. I have just found out that I'm leaving for Florida tomorrow in the morning. So I am going to be on a long drive tomorrow, and I'm not going to have access this week to be able to do the daily forecast. So I am pre-taping them for the rest of this week. So thank you guys for being flexible about that. But oh look, it's a menagerie of animals. This must be good luck. But thank you for tuning in. Please give these videos a like, share, subscribe. You can also comment on them. I'm sorry you guys won't be able to have the live chat feature like the morning broadcast, but I will set all of these to private and then release them each morning from my phone for each prediction. So this is for the energy. Please do your breath work exercises. Maybe pause the video right now and do your 3 breaths in and getting into a space of centeredness and gratitude for the mind, the body, and the spirit. We do that every morning. If you could please not do that, I would appreciate it. Stick with that practice if you can. If you do need to watch all the way through, go right ahead. It will be a quicker video today. So let's shuffle the deck. Again, we're working with the same decks, the Naked Heart Tarot by Jillian C. Wild. You can follow her at JILLIANCWILDE on Instagram. She's an amazing artist. She's created this first tarot deck that we're working with. I'm asking Spirit to please give us the message that we need for Tuesday, November 5th. For all of those that will tune into this broadcast, both now and in the future, even though really I'm the only one that's tuning in right now. But I'm kind of excited. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll understand why I'm going to Florida. I'm going to Florida to meet my half-brother with my mom. So it could be an emotional couple of days. That's also why I'm sort of pre-taping these so that I can be with my mom 100% and also be present and available to this whole experience, because it is going to be pretty amazing, I believe. If you guys like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. I always appreciate that. It's a great way to support the channel. If you hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell so that you get notified when I do actually go live. I go live normally every morning. Okay, so here's our first card. This is the 2 of Wands. This is a beautiful card. I love it. So Sunday we ended the week with the 3 of Wands, and it's interesting to me. The first thing that pops into my mind is, I swear to God, we are building the energy from what we saw on Sunday with these decks. It's interesting. Sundays, if you haven't seen Sunday's video, go back and watch it. But we started with the Sage card, I believe, and then we had the Spirit of Cups. And yesterday's reading, or which actually technically would be today's reading because I'm filming this early. But yesterday's reading was the 6 of Cups, which was the unicorn. And there was a lot in there about like saying, sort of recalling positive memories, things of that nature, right? And I was talking about the magic of that unicorn and it being sort of at peace and creating sort of an ease or a magic about it. And doing that through the emotional realm, right? Because Cups deals with the element of water or the emotions. In the Sunday reading, we ended with the 3 of Wands, which was this sort of pyramid that was inverted with a sun ray coming through it, right? To me, this feels like we're building that sort of ending of the week energy here. I also felt like we were building that Cups energy in yesterday's reading with the unicorn and the 6 of Cups. We're building that energy towards that underpinning, which is the Sage, or the Spirit of Cups card that we saw midweek. So this to me feels like more of the building of all of that. Now, 2 of Wands, 2s always make me think of couplings, pairings, the strengthening of the bond between two situations, people, that sort of a thing, right? Here, I feel like this is the beginning of getting to that Three of Wands by week's end. We're setting the foundations, I feel like, for that sort of, how do I want to say it? That sort of, that pyramid that we saw in the Three of Wands, where this to me feels opposite to it because it's a crystal ball, and it also feels more moon-like to me versus the Three of Wands card had this giant emanating golden sort of sunlight coming from it, right? Or that's how I interpreted that card. This to me feels like more of the intuitive side of that energy, and the moon, it being also a crystal ball, it feels very intuitive to me in that regard also. So I feel like today, for those of you that do tune in and watch this broadcast, it is an opportune day to sort of start to begin to build the foundations for what we saw in Sunday's, the balance that we saw and the equality that we saw in Sunday's reading by week's end with that Three of Wands, that spiritual sort of balance. And the cat is biting my toe. I'm sorry. Sven, not now. Seriously, not now, dude. So this to me says that we are sort of beginning to build that balance, right? We're beginning to bring those pieces together. Yesterday we had that Six of Cups. That was the beginning of that emotional energy. This is the beginning of the building of that spiritual energy, and also doing it from a very intuitive place. Looking to our future is what I'm hearing now as I'm looking at this crystal ball, like pondering our future. Where do we want to be? How do we want it to look? How do we want to sort of build it? And I feel like this structure here, these wands that are coming together, this is the element of fire and the element of spirit. It feels like we're beginning to build those ideas and set those structures into motion, right, for Tuesday. And sort of like really create them from a place of spirit and from our intuition, and sort of being direct about that. You know, to me, fire has a very direct sort of a directness to it, a clarity to it, a fuerza or a force, you know, that cannot be denied. I mean, each element has its own force, but fire is definitely one that is driven to me. And so I feel like this is more of a when I look at this card, it's got this funny contrast because the crystal ball makes me think of a more passive intuition, yet it being a wands card and it being like the building or the situating and beginning to build that balance that we want by week's end. And that Three of Wands, to me, it feels like we are using our intuition in a sort of undeniable way, if that makes sense, right? I hope that makes sense, but that's sort of what I'm trying to convey, is that our intuition, if we use it with that sort of spiritual connection and the fire of that, the sort of the intensity of the fire element that comes along with that, it actually becomes quite impressive, okay? So those of us that want to strengthen relationships on this day, it would be a good day to do that. And I mean really strengthening them at a spiritual level. That would be this Two of Wands too. Also looking to our future, this would be a good day to sort of ponder where we want to be, how do we want to be in the world, and what are we building, I really think we are beginning to put in place what I saw in Sunday's reading. This is the beginnings of those structures or those ideas, putting them into place, infusing them with spirit, with the energy of fire, and kind of dreaming a little bit, right? Yesterday's card was that unicorn, and although it was a cups card, it was also about like sort of focusing on the fond memories or the dreams, and a unicorn is definitely a magical animal. Oh my god, how funny. This is the card that we get. It's fire. This is from Kat Riles. The artist is Kat Riles. This is from the Roots and Wings deck, and you can find her at River and Roots on Instagram. Her art is beautiful, but her card here is fire, and so this is her oracle deck, and I use this as a little bit of backup information. Now, what I like about this, let me get my pointer. Remember when I was trying to tell you about the contrast between the sort of intuitive nature of this crystal ball, yet the fiery nature of these wands? I feel like this fire is sort of also mimicking that. There's a coolness and an intuition, a passivity or a quietness here that I feel like that's in this crystal ball in the beginning to build the structures. But there is this sort of love, this burn, this heat that is sort of reminding us, right, that we are spiritual beings, that we are building. When we focus our thoughts, our intentions, our attentions, we are actually building those sort of experiences in our life. So to me, when I look at this fire, it makes me think of nourishment in a way. It makes me think of warmth and sort of caring for oneself, taking care of oneself, nurturing oneself during this day. Also acknowledging the fiery nature of our spirit and ourselves and how it can sort of not only like keep us warm or carry us through situations, like sustain us in a way. There's also this smoke here makes me think a bit about sort of the element of spirit and how smoke is actually, well, where am I going with this? Smoke is actually similar to like I'm feeling this like sort of parallel with this between the smoke and the energy of the creation in this card. Like where we think about our future, what we look at in the future. Smoke is similar in the sense that it's something that's visible, right? Yet we can't touch it, we can't really harness it, we can't really grab hold of it, but it exists, right? So does our energy, so does our thoughts, so does the power of that, like in this card. So when we imbue those thoughts or those ideas of the future and we start to build them by giving them energy and focus and intention, we actually sort of create this smoke that we set out into the universe that the universe hears, sees, responds to, and will bring back to us by week's end, or maybe even further, depending on what it is we are working on or what it is we are building. Remember, though, this fire says to me that it's a beautiful place that we're, to me, this reminds me of home and hearth and nurturing. So think thoughts that are nurturing this day, and remember that the thoughts that you are focusing on, the intuitions that you are having, the focus on the future that you are looking at, however dreamy it may seem or unreal it may seem, you are actually building the foundations if you are imbuing it with that spiritual fire that's in both of these cards, quite frankly. So don't be surprised if you get a lot done today. Now I'm going to the grounding stone just to see what the grounding stone has to say. And we get promise. To me, this feels all about, and when I think of promise, like I think of promises, like the promises can be made and broken, but to me, sorry guys, this camera angle is a little bit different because I'm doing this with my phone, but for me, this stone always makes me think of, having promise, like a situation having promise or opportunity, right? The idea of promise being sort of an opportunity or what, a situation having a lot of promise, like there's avenues here to be explored. And I feel like with this fire and whatever it is that our thoughts, our energy, whatever we're giving our energy to and we're sort of burning about or we're thinking about and looking at and energizing, we are building, we are creating, we are sending that message out there into the universe. And this promise stone says to me, what kind of ideas are you creating? What sort of, in a way, like when we think about it, this might be a little far stretched, but I am going to go there with you. When we think about it, our thoughts, what we focus on, what we complain about, what we love, what we feel joy around, those are the promises to sort of ourselves and the universe about what we want, how we want it, when we want it. It's kind of what we're creating, right? So not only are we sort of creating that bond of like a promise that would be broken or fulfilled, but also we're also creating promise in our life, like the promised land, right? It's this land of abundance and beauty, and so we can create promise in our life and opportunity and abundance in our life, but we have to be aware that we are doing that and focus in that way and stay aware of that as we do that work. Okay, this would be a good day to keep that in your mind. Is what I'm thinking, is that whatever you're choosing to focus on and whatever you're imbuing with your energy and your attention, you are sort of setting yourself up. There's a promise there. There is a bond there. There is a spiritual linking to that you want to be aware of. Okay, so make sure that it's coming from a place of nurturing, warmth, and love, and deep intuition. Okay, and from a place that is full of promise. Okay, so that is your forecast for the day. I hope you enjoy it. Again, just bear with me. I'll be back hopefully at the latest Friday. Wednesday's charm night will be canceled because I'm not going to be at home. I will be in a hotel room with my mom. So that won't be happening. I'm sorry about that, but I am going to try and get back by Friday evening to do Fridays. If not, I will announce whether or not Fridays will be canceled if I know better once we get there and we know what's going on in Florida. All right, I hope you guys are all well. Have a great day, and please just give this video a like, comment if you want, or if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you guys live really soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.